Hello everyone and welcome to my little showcase of the progress shots of my latest animated short on my main channel. On screen you can see the final, but it did not start out that way, of course. I first started out with keyframes only. I'll go ahead and let them play, it'll take a second. It's just the three frames or the three movements. And then after that I went in and I added rough in between frames, which are rough on purpose. They don't necessarily look that great, especially looking at like the body or torso. Now when I go to line this, I'm not necessarily using the in-between frames I put in this. This is just for like a visual representation of how it could look and kind of gives a somewhat guide if I need it. What I do when I line these frames is I do the keyframes and then I'll do the in-betweens without anything under it. So I'm not tracing over the in-betweens in this. This is just for like a visual representation of what it would be and kind of give a guide if I get lost. Hopefully that makes sense. But my first section that I wanted to do, and I did end up sectioning this off in portions that were digestible, and I sectioned it off by doing the face first, adding more to the expression and more everything. The eyebrows are probably my favorite thing to do. It was very fun. It probably took the longest, and I also wanted to make sure it was the most well done because this animation, you're gonna look at the face the most. But after that I did the body, which since that like rough pass through, you know what I'm talking about. The first rough pass that we did was very wonky on the body. I wanted to make sure that I really nailed that better with this pass through than the in-betweens I had done. And I think this looks much, much better. However, if I went back and changed this, and this is, I don't know why I didn't just do it this way. I like mesh tweened the like body to move. I shouldn't have done that. I don't know why I did that. I think it's just because I haven't animated in a while. It would have worked in like a different movement style, but not like for a torso that would bend, not like this. Does that make sense? I would have selected the whole thing and like moved it manually, not this like mesh thing I decided to do. But for a simple animation, it's really not that big of a deal. It looks fine. It's passable. And I also made sure I did it smoothly enough to where like people are gonna like look at it and be like, that looks awful. They might question it, but now after that I did the arms. I was actually gonna do the arms and body at the same time, but I thought maybe I should do something that's not gonna want me to chop off my arms and section it off, which gives me a bit less brain power that I have to do on it. You know what I mean? It makes it more digestible, so I chopped it into pieces. Which is not necessarily the way I tackle all animations, it's just how I tackled this one, because it's not really detailed. After that I did the hair, which typically is my favorite part, but I don't know. Since this one doesn't have like a whole lot going for the hair and parts of it gets blocked off, I didn't really get to do big fun swoops or do that much fun things because it's not really the vocal point of this animation. Like I'd say the expression is probably the vocal point, but it looks fine. Her hair is a bit like hard to track sometimes. So there are like spots where it's a little messy, but it's passable. After that was ears, which I was going to do while doing the hair, but again, I decided to not do it at the same time and I did it separately, which actually was really hard to do for some reason. I would draw the keyframes and then for some reason my brain just wasn't able to do the in-between, so I actually relied on that first rough pass for the ears, which you can tell because it's a little choppy in some spots, but it's really not that bad. So that's the bonus of having this as a backup if I can't, like my brain can't figure out the in-betweens, does that make sense? Because you tell here, like the in-betweens for the hair, like there's not extra movement. When you look at the hair here, like there's extra movement. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's like actually animated. The ears aren't like that, which is fine. It's choppy in some spots, but it's really fun. It's like I notice it. It's probably not noticeable to a person just watching it at first glance. And then after that I colored. You can see the final. There are actually 3 versions of this. This first one does not have any hold on the animation, so it is all fluid. The last one has the most hold, where the first 2 frames are very short and then the last... Okay, so this animation is 9 frames total, but each keyframe section takes up 3 frames. So the first movement is 3 frames, the second movement's 3 frames, and the third movement is 3 frames. So the first 2 frames of the first movement are very fast, and then the third one holds out the most. That is this third video here. The second one is a middle, like a middle ground between the 2. So first one is completely fluid, meaning all of the frames are equal length, and then second one is a middle ground, and the last one is holding out the frames to the max. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm so bad at explaining stuff. But yeah, that is my little progress. I thought I'd show it because I had it rendered and everything. But yeah. Thank you for watching.